Alright guys, welcome back to another Warframe video. In the last video, I was just going around the star charts trying to do a little bit of cleanup on Steel Path as I've made my way around. Today I did a little bit more of that outside of recording. Like I said, I wasn't going to do every bit of Steel Path I'm recording. You know, if there's something particularly interesting, I'll probably continue to throw the bulk of it in. But you know, just for some of these that I find kind of annoying game modes anyway, like Interception, you know, I'm just kind of grinding those in the background. And I'll tell you, a couple times today as I was doing background cleanup, I did have a couple people randomly that were playing. Looked like I hopped into one. The guy was by himself. The opponent was up to like 60-something%. He had like 5. I jumped in so we could finally divide and conquer, and he ended up, well, we, in turn, I was with him, ended up getting through it. So, yeah, you know, those can be tricky, but then a few others I got in. Nobody ever joined me. I was using Dante. I mean, he can hit like a tank, but when it's a constant flood of enemies, it occurred to me, hey, maybe using Frost. Oh yeah, obviously I did get a new skin on Frost, by the way. I thought that it was pretty cool looking. So I was thinking, oh yeah, Frost can slow people down. That's probably really useful. And I thought about it as soon as I went to Interception after defense. I was going to swap off. I was like, why don't I just try with Frost? And I ended up soloing a couple Interceptions. Still not the easiest thing in the world to do. Kind of seems like the map layout plays a little bit to do with it. Kind of the tactic that I figured out that seemed to work for me after a little bit of trial and error was whatever base they first seem to be just horribly flooding in, just let them have it. Go grab the other 3, and then you can kind of control those, hold the max point, because they seem to primarily flow in and target one specific base when you're playing by yourself. I'm not sure if that's always true, but that's what I did that ended up working, and Frost being able to slow people down and freeze them in place is just so helpful. Plus, he as well can generate overguard, not quite to the same level that, say, Dante can, or Rhino. But I think having the ability to slow down and freeze targets dead in their tracks is massively useful if you're going to be trying to solo Steel Path. I mean, he is, as soon as I figured it out, he has been my go-to for soloing Steel Path defense missions, and now he's probably going to be the one I'm going to start with when I attempt to solo Interception. Still not my favorite game mode, but, you know, we got to get through them. So I'm going to quickly swap over the Steel Path to show you what I got through over the last couple of days. Mars, I do have completely cleaned up. Series, I think I left just one that I thought might be fun to put in. Next time I'm just kind of going through the star chart, testing out frames. I thought leaving a Sabotage there would be decent. And then I've only done, 1 or 2 on Jupiter, I guess, Menace and Ananke and Callisto. So we've got a spy over there, we've got a survival, we've got another survival, and we've got a rescue. So all pretty straightforward ones that is a little mixed bag. That'll be a good test for trying another Steel Path test out on another frame I've yet to use. As promised, this is the weekend of the 19th and the 20th of October. I have finally read back through all the comments that everybody left while I was without power in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, and a lot of great information in there, guys. So there's a lot of things that it's probably my own fault for not showing it, and certainly I know it's things I mention in passing. Like, if you're one of the people that watches almost all my videos, you probably heard me say it, but this is kind of a common recurring theme that I see in my comments a fair bit. Especially when I'm doing like, hey, a build or a Steel Path test, there's always a lot of really good information in there. But then there's, not that it isn't good information, but what I do just want to point out, in fact, it'd probably be easier to do it this way. Let me go over to my mods. The mods come up a fair bit. I do have a lot of them. Gosh, I don't even know how do you see the mods that you have slotted in that are leveled? How can I sort this? Sort by, I guess, what would it be? Rank? Yeah, that'll probably do it. So what I'm going to do is sort it by rank, and it'll just show so you can see all of my highest mods that I have worked up so far. I do have Archon Intensify maxed, Primed Flow, Continuity's just one off, Fortitude is one away, Intensify is one away. So there's a lot of these that are just one away. Well, not a lot, I guess it's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 2 maxed. I have 4 that are one away, and those are big ones. Those are big investment mods, not the small ones. I have a lot of the small ones maxed, but for the, you can rank them up 10 times. That's my progress there. And then a pretty good cluster of 8s and 7s and 6s and 5s and on down the line. But it'll give you a sense of just kind of the progress I've made. And yeah, you can see I do have a pretty healthy chunk of endo, but I only just got that back up kind of to a pretty good healthy amount, at least in my opinion, because as you can see, I still have a lot of mods that need to be bumped all the way. And the issue with that is it's very expensive on these 10 investment rank mods. I think it's 30, 40, 50,000 endo. I mean, I'm having to really pick and choose which mods I want to do that for. So I kind of decided to focus on the ones that I think would be most useful in more kits. And yeah, I know Transient Fortitude. I do have one that I think is only slightly lower than that, but it would rock the boat. Yeah, there's one over there. I think I might also have another that's just unranked, because I did grind a lot of vaults over the last few weeks as well. But this is one, yes, I definitely do want to get bumped all the way. I mean, all of them I do. It's just going to take more time. It's a lot of endo to put into these, and there's still many mods I know I'm missing. I have people, oh, hey, for this build, here's what you want. And it's mods I've never even heard of. So it's probably stuff I haven't done yet, or it's just RNG stuff I have done, and I have to go back to grind it to get it to drop. But I mean, I can't even begin to guess where half of these drop. I knew about the Dragon Vaults because everybody told me about them, and they said, hey, corrupted mods drop there. So I figured very quickly with the explanation some while ago, oh, it's the, positive this, negative that. That made perfect sense. And then I started getting some that I had never had drop before. Some I just got from grinding bounties. I feel like I got a fair chunk of stuff from grinding bounties over in the Sanctum Anatomica. Maybe that's where I got Energy Nexus. I do have a duplicate of this now. There's several like that, but I just wanted to give you kind of a sense of where all of my mods are sitting. And then I know probably just at a quick glance, it would be extremely difficult for anybody to tell, because there's so many mods in this game. Hey, what is missing from my list that are kind of key mods? Though, of course, I guess if we get down into this section of 3s, that probably tells a little bit of the story, but then it starts jumping into some other ones again. So, oh yeah, Fleeting Expertise, Efficiency Duration. Yeah, that's a pretty nasty trade-off. Yeah, corrupted mod indeed. But yeah, there's a lot of these in here. This I picked up from Baraketeer today. I have no clue what that is, but it's the weirdest looking mod I've ever seen. So I decided to just spend some ducats to grab that. I grabbed another primed mod today as well. I don't think it's anything I put any points into yet, though. What is it? I'll see it in this list when I get to it. But yeah, I mean, I just have a boatload of mods. Obviously, there's a lot of these augment mods for various frames, many of which I have yet to use. A lot of them are for frames I haven't gone back to reset after, like the first times I've played them. So there's still tons of things I have to play around with in this game, guys. Like I said, I am still doing my best to not get overwhelmed by just how massive this game is. Even after playing it, I think rolling on 2 years now, believe it or not, getting close to it anyway. I mean, I still feel like most times when I jump in here, I've barely scratched the surface. There's a lot of stuff that I figured out, and there's still a lot of stuff I've yet to figure out, and there's a lot of stuff I've not even seen yet. So that's just kind of my thoughts on it. But just wanted to give you a quick sense of what all I've got going on the mod side. Related to that, I did crack finally and figure out, do the thing you needed to do to be able to use the Riven mods on most of them now. So I'll just kind of show you what I'm sitting on. I mean, a lot of them are probably just okay. Some of them are probably complete garbage. Some of them are probably pretty decent, or maybe I should just consider re-rolling them. So there is one that I got yesterday, was the Glaive, which is currently the Glaive Acrator, plus range, crit damage, and lower chance to gain combo count. I don't have the Glaive Prime set up for combo count, so I don't actually care that much about that. Maybe that's a stupid decision on my part, but this should be a pretty decent mod because I do actually have it set up to have a fair chance at critting with pretty good crit. I think it's up to a 6.8 crit multiplier, so I did make room to get that onto it. That was a pretty cool one that dropped. Let's see, what else? Ocucore, did I have one for the Ocucore as well? I don't remember. Ignis, I already showed you guys that. The Harmony. Stephalos is another one. The Tigress, that was one I was playing around with while I was ranking up some weapons I had yet to touch. I do have the Primed Vosto. This one's actually a pretty decent mod. I mean, it doesn't fire that fast anyway, so I didn't care that much about it. But that definitely does pump out some damage, and I barely made an investment on it. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to show you a few of those I was sitting on. Oh yeah, the new core. Then you can see that I already rolled it 7 times. You know, I mean, I'm sure it's fine, or I could keep investing Kuva to re-roll it, but frankly, I only just recently got the new core, which actually, it kind of seems like a decent alternative to maybe the Epitaph that I've been using, and I'll kind of show you the obvious reason that I was thinking that. This has, I use Quick Shot, 170% status, all right? And its crit is basically nothing. Where did I get that? I think it was a Kuva weapon, right? I got it from taking down a Kuva Lich. Yeah, Wig-Egg, Kuva Nucor. I'll show you kind of my thoughts on this. So, same thing, like basically no crit, but, you know, stupidly high status. So, this does not pump out the same volume of damage that the Epitaph does, which is why I don't have it equipped. And the Epitaph also is a lot more ranged than, say, this does. This feels very much like a beam weapon, so you're a bit more limited in it. And the way that the Epitaph also works, I think, makes it work a little bit better as a primer. Granted, I didn't really try to use this that much as a status primer, but it felt like it was more like, say, using the Tenet Galaxian or the Torrid Incarnate, like any of those beams where, okay, it's just going to beam and then the enemy's going to go down. The Epitaph really feels like a proper primer. You see the cluster of enemies, you pull it once, poof, and then all the statuses pop up. And then you swap to what you want to do to take advantage of that. So I didn't hate this weapon. Actually, I found it to be quite strong, particularly once I popped on Word Warden with Dante. And, yeah, I mean, it just started hitting really, really hard. Word Warden with Dante, and, yeah, it started going from, okay, yeah, this is a decent status primer, to, wow, that's actually kind of a viable beam-type weapon. So I thought that was pretty interesting anyway. Just wanted to show you a few things I was working on in the background. But since I've got Frost out, kind of what I wanted to jump over here and do was just take a peek at, excuse me, not this, the arbitrations. What I kind of wanted to do was just show you a few things that I do in the background. It's stuff I was going to be doing anyway. So I'm going to try a defense arbitration with Frost, so you can kind of see how I set up. I did swap out the Torrid Arcane to the one that's more symbiotic with his cold status effects. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump in. I'm going to solo Arbitration as long as I want to, and then I'll hop out and hopefully get some more Vetus Essence. I ran some earlier in the background today with a group. We were in survival for, gosh, the better part of 45 minutes to an hour. Ended up pulling like 36, 38 Vetus Essence is how I had enough to pick up 2 Arbitration Mods today. Oh, I should show you that first before I hop in. I popped those onto the Torrid. So let me show you where I have the Torrid sitting now, just before we pop in. I've got Galvanized Chamber, and I've got it up to there, and I've got Galvanized Aptitude, and I've got it up to there. I think I've had Vital Sense on the whole time. Critical Delay, I think I added the 200 bumped variant because I have a few of these. Then Malignant Force I kept on in tandem with Stormbringer because I do like Corrosive on this, and I just left on the base Serration. Obviously, I have popped on one Forma. I am going to absolutely fully invest on the Torrid. This thing is absolutely ridiculous. I've been using it since I first came back to it and was just absolutely gobsmacked by how strong this thing is. Not putting the Fellarks away, it's just it's fun to play a new weapon. I've been playing the Fellarks for months. So that's it. I'm going to jump over. I'm going to solo some Arbitration defense here with Frost, and we'll see how well it goes.
Fight this arbitration as any mortal creature would.
Before I go in, I will just get my energy pool up just a little bit. That is a seriously cool skin. Seriously cool. Big fan. Tell you what, it felt really good. It was today that I'm recording, but earlier in the day I was doing some prep work for tonight's recording, and it was today that I was pulling Frost out again from the last time I ran him through some Steel Path testing, and I gotta tell you, he feels really, really good. It's funny, the first time I used him, I thought he was boring. Far from it. I just didn't have enough stuff to really make him shine, you know, a year ago, give or take. My first year of playing Warframe. Okay, that's good enough. I don't have a high energy pool on him anyway. 370, yep, 370 something, yeah. Okay, we're just gonna pop in. We'll head straight to our defense point. Oh, this is a good one. And then watch the hilarity ensue. This weapon is so strong, it's actually ridiculous. Stay in the bubble, my guy.
Let's go.
If he's going to be popping in and out there a little bit, I just want to make sure he's got a little bit more bubble coverage area back there. Yeah, I also find this thing great for taking down the drones. Panzer downstairs doing some work. All right. No need to waste a 4 on that. Keep some bubbles up for my guy.
potential blossoms. Continue the arbitration.
Reinforcements available. Do you choose to go home?
Alright guys, so we went through 20 waves I think, and that got us another 7, so not horrible. You know, if I had been in there with the group, could have gone a lot longer, but I was just trying to, you know, jump in, show a few little different things, and kind of show you guys a little bit of what the stuff I do when I'm doing background work. Like, what does that actually mean? Well, things like that, that's one of them.
Hunter, you exceed expectations.
Affinity booster is always nice. I do have a few weapons that normally if one of those popped up, I would just MR grind real quick in Sanctuary Onslaught, but I'm not going to do that for the purpose of today's video. Let's see if there's a different stance I can put on Frost. Yeah. Make him stand upright instead of hunchback over. Yeah, that's much less annoying to look at. Okay, so yeah, guys, arbitrations, straightforward, no problem. Got a little Vetus. In fact, that might be enough that I could purchase one more mod. I don't remember how many I left off the last time that I was up there, which was earlier today. I don't remember how many I had left. Let's just say calm. So, yeah, this would be part and parcel to things I do in the background. I'm kind of hopping and skipping all over the place. Yeah, I have exactly 20 now.
Have you survived arbitration? Honors await
So,
you.
I know Rolling Guard is one that I read about that a lot of people also told me about a ton. That would be huge for survivability, particularly while doing Steel Path. So that is one I definitely want to pick up, but I was thinking it might be more beneficial to start with these galvanized mods because these all have such good stats on them. I've got the Savvy and I've got the Hell for the shotgun. Acceleration. I mean, I don't know what that would be super useful on. Like, what would happen if you put on galvanized acceleration on, say, Felarx? I don't even think I have. What's the normal? Is it Vile Acceleration? Is that the normal mod name? I feel like it's a speed up the projectiles. So I'll probably come back for that. That's for pistol. That's for pistol. That's 2 rifle in the middle, shotgun, shotgun, shotgun. So I've got 2 of the 3. The pistol ones I haven't picked up yet. Oh, there's another rifle. Galvanized scope on headshot. Crit chance when aiming for 12 seconds. On headshot kill. Crit chance when aiming for 12 seconds. That's if it's maxed all the way. See, I don't know why in the world you would want to be having to hold and aim for that long unless you were using a sniper rifle. Because I did a fair chunk of the Riven mod unlock requirements over in the Plains of Eidolon using Loki and the Itzel Arcwing, and I think it was the Vectus. Is that the name of it? It was one of the earliest weapons that somebody gifted me before I figured out where the setting was to turn it off. Again, still hugely grateful for everybody for that, by the way. I think it was the Vectus. I don't think it was called the Veloctus. I think it's the Vectus. So something like that would make sense, but you have to aim for 12 full seconds if you have that mod maxed out before the bonus would apply. If I'm interpreting it correctly, which is one of the reasons that I've really never invested that much in that mod, nor put it on anything. I don't think I have it on anything but a sniper, and I only have a couple snipers. Let me know if I'm misinterpreting how that functions, but it says quite clearly, plus 120 crit chance when aiming for 12 seconds. Oh my gosh. It doesn't mean when aiming for 12 seconds. I think it means you get a 120% crit chance for 12 seconds when aiming. Am I right? Am I misinterpreting this? I have no idea, guys. This is either like a ridiculous mod that why would you use it outside of a sniper rifle, or it's worded in a very confusing manner. See, like on this, plus 30% multi-shot for 20 seconds. It tells you there's time involved. We give it to you for 20 seconds. This says when aiming for 12 seconds on the maxed out version. I know the lowest version is like 2, 3, 4 seconds, whatever the magic number may be. But either way, I mean, I guess I'll probably pick them all up anyway, but I'm either right in my original interpretation or it's worded in a very peculiar manner. Either way. So just in case I am misinterpreting what this mod means, I guess I will get it. I guess I'll get it. I'm going to get them all anyway. I don't use the pistols that often.
These
yeah, of course,
honors were
I can
well earned,
throw it
Lieutenant.
on to, say, the epitaph or any other secondary. Obviously, galvanized shot would be pretty good on the epitaph. That would just increase the status procs. Yeah, galvanized diffusion. I mean, I think I have amalgam barrel diffusion that goes up to plus 100, plus 20. But either way, that's all I can get. I committed to it. I grabbed what I grabbed. So let's go back to the orbiter. Whoops. I'll leave the room to relay. And then I'm going to go look at, say... I'm trying to think what secondary I have the amalgam barrel diffusion on. Do I have it on the epitaph? I don't think so. No, I do. Oh, it's multi-shot plus dodge speed. Okay. So it's a totally different perk. So yeah, those probably would end up working pretty well. And then let me just look at the Glaive Prime. What do I have in here? Amalgam Organ Shatter crit. So yeah, the crit goes up quite a bit. Of course, for the Glaive in particular, I'm not sure I would want to give up the wind-up speed. But it certainly would be a great mod for probably most other melees in terms of how I use them. But either way, we got one more, guys. So 3 galvanized mods in one day. That is not bad. That's pretty good work. Okay. Just for the sake of today's theme of kind of showing you some background stuff that I do, I'm going to do that. I'm going to just do this. Just the one. I'm not going to go overboard. I'm just doing the one mission because I'm going to be hopping to a few different things that are part of my typical process. Survival Steel Path. Yeah, we'll save that for Steel Path test. Let's jump onto the Corpus. Let me reset my Torrid off of cold because Dante's not proccing cold. Prop that back onto Primary Merciless. Yeah, really liking this Torrid. I've said it a few times. It's a strong weapon.
These foes deserve your respect. Honor them with quick deaths, and I with your victory.
Now, when I normally start out, I will do a couple quick Xeneric casts. Then I will throw 2 of my Overguard ability casts on. Then I'll stand here for 1 or 2 more cycles of the lens. I'll get it up to about 30 on the Overguard. Whoops. I have to cast it again. I messed up. I accidentally tapped X. I'm still working on just using the bumper and tap versus scrolling through the D-pad. I'm getting better with it, but I'm not 100%. That is probably fine to get this started. It's just survival.
They have just shut down all systems. I'm sending life support
I will get
capsules
page
your way.
flight out. Then we'll just start melting stuff. Look how silly this weapon is. Now we'll get a Word Warden out. Now we'll get a Roar out. Now we'll get some more Overguard out.
Life support on the
Pop
way.
in Carnage. Big cluster of enemies down there. Oh, you know what I might want to show you? I know I've talked about it. I'm not sure if I've actually put it on display yet on recording.
I've delivered a life support capsule to the
The
area.
adjustments I made to Dante's
Activating it
loadout
will buy you more time.
here. Let me quick double cast there. Make sure I've got enough Overguard on. I do. Fresh page flight. Fresh Word Warden. Fresh Roar. I need a decent cluster of enemies. 5 million something off in the background. Yeah, he's pretty consistently hitting for several million. If I go with the status prime setup. If it doesn't kill them all before I can actually get the damage out.
Prepare for life
Yeah,
support.
so I don't know if you could see it. It may be easier to go to like a Netracell, even though I've already... Actually, no! Netracells should be back up for them. Okay.
Our operative is making progress.
Well,
This will help our
there's no compelling reason to hang out in
Extraction
here,
is
so yeah,
available
I mean, that's
if you
just
need it.
a pretty prototypical example of what I can consider to be background work. I mean, there's nothing particularly interesting that happened in there. I didn't have too much to talk about other than I was trying to show you, which I guess I'll do in a minute. I think it is a new week of Netracells, because it's after 8 p.m. Standard Time on Sunday night. I think it is. I didn't put my watch on today. It is. It's after 9.
To strike. You strike to win.
So, on that end, I'm actually going to pause the recording. I have to do something here, but when I get back, it'll be the new week, so that'll be the next thing I'll do. I'll show you Dante's damage output in Netracells, because that was specifically the reason that I made the adjustment, is I wanted to try to solo him. I am so close, guys. I'm so close. But anyway, we'll do a cut, and then we'll come back, and we'll run some Netracells. Alright guys, so now I'm going to get ready to head over to the Netracell run. Since I'm not attempting a solo run today, we'll pop over to the Anatomica. But at any rate, kind of just wanted to show you in a practical application the damage output I've got him up to now. It's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it, and it can obviously get stronger over time with some better mods and tweaks.
3. Are we heading out then?
Netracells.
Go with the herd, you know? Let's crack that thing.
There we go. So I'll run in with the group. We'll do our thing. We'll get to the Netracell, and then I'll, keep in the recording bits where I'm actually got the damage numbers up for you to see. I don't mind. I'll grab 2 of them. Makes no difference to me. Sometimes I grab all 4. Again, makes no difference to me.
That's the Netracell. Open it.
I think we have a Gauss in here.
Security's
Speedy.
freaking out. The Netracell doors won't open.
Alright, I like to start by getting everybody some nice overguard. So I'll do that first. Then I'll recast Page Flight. We will cast Roar. We'll cast Word Warden. I will swap to the Epitaph, and I will find some enemies. Looks like maybe they're all just kind of hanging out up here in this hallway. Frankly, totally fine. Yeah, I saw 3 million something in the middle there. And that's kind of on the lower end. I mean, often it pops 5, 6, kind of about average when I've got everything up at the same time. Sometimes it's a little lower than that. Sometimes it's a lot higher than that. I've seen it as high as, 16 something million.
Take him out. We ain't got all day.
And now, of course, I've got to your recast. Roar, Page Flight, Word Warden, and then we'll be back to full strength again. Millions yet again. So yeah, this is a very effective build for pumping up really solid damage. And there it is. Pretty quick. Okay, and we're good. So yeah, guys, this is one of the big parts that I started, I guess, roughly within the last month and a half, 2 months. And it's very fun. But I stand by, I'd much rather be in there fighting level 200 whatever, Murmur or whatever they are, relative to Steel Path. I do think that they're a bit easier. And the Panzer Volpa file is very nice to have too. Viral procs randomly in the middle of while you're doing all your stuff. It's a really good setup in my opinion. And yeah, I realize these are still baby high damage output. I'm air quoting here. High damage output numbers relative to, builds that a lot of people have. I'm sure there are people hitting in the hundreds of millions, but I mean, this is my first frame I've had up anywhere near this kind of damage numbers, and it's awesome to see. It's really fun. So I'll wrap up the rest of those for the week later, and I'll probably cut a good chunk of that out, but I'll definitely show you the really kind of key damage output numbers that I wanted to. Oh, I should have shown the stats just to show relative how much damage dealt to the group and enemies felled, so it were. So I'm going to exit the Anatomica now. Let's see. And then typically, if I've got something that I'm in the middle of crafting or that I'm thinking about I'm ready to craft, I'll kind of take stock there. So one thing that I was working on, I've got the Higasa stock and the Higasa receiver. That's the only parts required for that, so I can actually get that crafting. I'm guessing that's a primary. Let me just double check it. I should have the parts. And I do... Oh, I'm missing the barrel. I need to craft the barrel. Where is the Higasa barrel? And I have one Amanata blade. I know for that one you need 2. 2 blades, 1 handle. So I didn't craft the handle for that yet, and I didn't craft the barrel for the Higasa. So let me see if I can find it in the ready to build. It's probably because I needed to do a few more runs of Desai's Visions. Interesting. Okay, so I don't remember exactly where all the parts show up in here. Totally fine. For what it's worth, let me just confirm I've got it. I'll do a quick inventory search for Higasa and for Amanata. Just make sure I've got them to actually be able to craft. Higasa. Yep, I've got the barrel. It's just not because I need the Fate Pearls first, and that also means I've definitely got the handle. So this would be something that I would grind in the background. I'll just do this solo. I'm sure you can do it with others, and I'm sure it's perfectly fine and fun. Maybe a bit quicker, but for my purposes, I'm just going to solo it. I'm not going to show you the entire run, guys. You've recently seen this. It's it's fine, but it's not the most entertaining thing to watch. So I'll just cut. I'll get my Fate Pearls. We'll come back and we'll get a bit more crafting. But again, this is all part of my background process. This is stuff that, unless there's something compelling I wanted to show you, it's just stuff that I've made part of my weekly and daily, go after this, go after that, go after that. So I'll take care of this. We'll get our pearls, then we'll come back. All right, guys, so I spent just a few minutes. Didn't take long at all. Got what I needed for the rest of the parts from the Kame thing. So over here, is it Higasa first? I have the barrel crafting. As soon as that's done, I'll have enough Fate Pearl left over to do that. And then on the Amanata side, I have the second blade crafting and the handle crafting. As soon as those are done, I'll have enough Fate Pearls to craft the Amanata. So I will have those both done, presumably within a day. But that's, you know, just another thing that I would do in the background. It's not particularly entertaining to watch. I already did the event, so just grinding it further isn't, you know, super highlight worthy, but nonetheless, that's one thing. And then another big thing that's a part that I really only started focusing on within the last few weeks, which is probably to my own detriment, but be that as it may, it would be running the arbitrations. Now, right now, we've got a good survival infestation that's up. Daggeth is probably a pretty decent choice. In fact, you know what? For fun, I might run Daggeth. Let's run Daggeth. I'm going to run Daggeth in a minute. She gets a nice big bonus in the midst of it. So I'll leave it on public. We'll swap off Dante. Dante obviously always great for a group. But, you know, when they throw a frame, I also enjoy playing up there as an option. Let's do it. So I'll leave it public. I'll go into arbitrations. Sometimes I'll go solo. Sometimes I'll go public. More often than not, I'll do them solo. But, you know, public is really no problem. It's just I've had a few that have failed because you know, people that have been there have just pushed the luck a little bit too far, and you know, gotten our protective asset murked. So
you must provide cover
no
for
judgment,
a lone
really.
Tenno operative. Set off the alarms and keep the infested busy.
Alright guys, so we just wrapped that up. Ran for just under half an hour. Got 23 plus another arcane in the mix. Not a bad pile of Indo there either for 27 minutes of time. Quick GG to the group, so I will back out. That was well played. Alright, so I've got 23, so I should be able now to get my first one of these galvanized pistol mods. Let's see, galvanized shot, status chance on kill, plus 40 direct damage per status type affecting the target for 14 seconds, stacks up to 3 times. That's pretty strong. Galvanized diffusion, plus 30 for 20, stacks up to 4. Now I've already got an amalgam barrel diffusion for my pistol. This is probably a little bit stronger, I'm guessing, but galvanized shot sounds like it would be a really good one to have. So just for my own sake, do I have a secondary on that has that? I'm just going to go look at my arsenal real quick. I'm going to look at my epitaph to see. I'm pretty sure I have an amalgam barrel diffusion. Let's just read what the difference would be. I do. That gives multi-shot plus dodge speed. So the galvanized has a much nicer side perk on there.
Honors await you.
Yeah, I don't have that for the pistol yet. Where is it? Crosshairs, crit chance when aiming for 12 seconds, headshot. Yeah, it's the same crosshair one I was looking at recently. Then that's melee. That's going to be melee pistol. I think for me, I'm going to start with the galvanized diffusion. That's where I'm going to start.
These honors were well earned.
Getting close on our little collection there. It goes reasonably quickly. Let me back out of here. Then I guess maybe the first place I want to start. Yeah, it's going to eat a lot of credits. It's going to eat some Indo. But let's just take the epitaph. Epitaph has 3 points left in the till. That takes up 16 there. So let's just check. Gosh, I just picked it up. It's galvanized diffusion. Let's throw that on. Let's see what the investment is to get this modded all the way up. 30,000 endo, 1,000,004, so that'll put me just under 1,000,000 again. But it's going to be worth it. I'm going to apply that fusion. That's the one we're going to keep. So that's the new mod there. And funny enough, it actually leaves me it leaves me an extra point that I didn't have before. That's funny. That maxed with that perk only is 14, and that's 15. Anyway, you slice it, it's very nice to have. So I know this is kind of all over the map. I just wanted to kind of do some of the stuff I normally don't put in recordings, or at least in its entirety, into a video to just show you a bit of my process on stuff that I'm working in the background. A little bit of the thought process behind the how and why I'm kind of picking and choosing what to do. So it's kind of all over the place. It's working on crafting things I need to craft, working on getting the parts I need in order to craft them. It's checking out dailies. It's getting the new weekly Netracell runs done. And of course, you know, I always do the Archon hunt. I have yet to do that this week, so I've got 4 more Netracell runs plus an Archon. And those I really enjoy, but I often play them with my clan leader or some other buddies, so you know, I'll just save them. I got till the end of the week. It's the new week. But, yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Obviously, going through a bunch of stuff today. I've got a lot of things that I need to upgrade. You know, some other background stuff I'm not going to put in this video. I'll be grinding out some more Anatomica bounties. Really good, quick ways to get a big old pile of endo, which obviously I need a lot of endo to continue upgrading a lot of these key mods that I've got close, but I need to do it. And then of course it's just the question of Forma, since I really only started on Forma relatively recently, much to my chagrin. And not that you guys didn't tell me, I just kind of forgot about it for a while, and now it's kind of biting me in the rear a bit, but that's okay. I've got 30 some odd. It's just picking and choosing. Okay, that's the thing I want to focus on. But as you can see, where is Forma in here? I don't even remember where it is. I've got 34 owned, and every day when it's done, I'm getting another processing. So I'm constantly making sure I have enough of the crafting parts, which the 2 for that is, I believe, the neural sensors and the Orkin cells would be the 2 you might be running low on. So that's where, when I'm dropping my extractors off every day when I first jump on, I'm making sure to plop them on planets that have those. I'm still doing the Zaramon as well, because it's always nice to get some extra Lanthorn basically free of charge. But anyway, guys, hopefully this wasn't too disjointed of a video and not too boring to watch, but thought it might be helpful to just show kind of behind the scenes stuff that I'm working when I'm doing my own personal grinding. Figured you guys may have some input. Hey, if you haven't considered doing this, add this to your list. I'm sure there's something that I'm forgetting that all the veterans would you know, tell me, hey, just add this to your weekly list, add this to your daily list, and I will make sure to do it. At any rate, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. As always, I do sincerely appreciate you checking in, and we will catch you on the next one.